The day my brother brought his girlfriend home, I unexpectedly became the child bride. She looked at me with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes and said, "So, you're the adopted daughter of the Collins family? The little wife they raised for Ethan?" I froze, eyes widening in shock. It was true that I had been adopted by the Collins family. Before he passed away, my father had been a founding member of the Collins group, and my mother had been close friends with Ethan's mother. The Collins family had raised me as their own for more than 10 years. So how did I suddenly become the child bride just because my brother brought his girlfriend home? The day my brother, Ethan Collins, introduced his girlfriend, the atmosphere was perfect at first. Violet Parker was charming, sweet, and effortlessly likable. My parents were clearly taken with her, laughing and smiling as she talked. But when her gaze landed on me, something in her expression shifted. "Who's this?" she asked, pretending to be curious. Ethan's mother, Carol Collins, smiled warmly and pulled me closer. "This is Amelia, our little girl. She grew up with Ethan, they're closer than siblings." Violet gave a soft "oh" and lowered her lashes. When she looked up again, her eyes glittered with something else entirely. Leaning toward my brother, she said sweetly, "Ethan, so this is the girl everyone talks about? The one your parents raised for you, your little wife?" The room fell silent. Ethan's expression hardened. "Violet, don't be ridiculous." Martin Collins's smile faded, and Carol hurried to smooth things over. "You really know how to joke around, Violet," she said lightly. "Amelia's been with us since she was little. She's like our own daughter. There's no such thing as a child bride." Violet covered her mouth with a laugh, but her eyes lingered on me, sharp and calculating. "Oh, I'm sorry," she said in a tone that sounded apologetic but wasn't. "I must have misunderstood. But people do say the Collins family has a beautiful adopted daughter who was raised for Ethan." Her gaze darted between us as she added innocently, "After hearing all those rumors, then seeing how pretty Amelia is and how close you two are. Well, I can't help feeling a little uncomfortable." She bit her lip and gave a shy smile. "But it's fine. I'll get over it. I must have misunderstood." Her apology only made things worse. With every word, she reinforced the label of child bride and reminded everyone that I was adopted. My hands clenched into fists under the table. Yes, I was adopted, but my biological father had been a founding member of the Collins group who died saving Martin in an accident. My mother, a close friend of Carol's, passed away from illness when I was young. The Collins family took me in out of love and loyalty, treating me as their own daughter. For over a decade, everyone knew this. Who would dare question it? But now, because my brother brought his girlfriend home, I was suddenly the subject of ugly gossip. The dinner table fell quiet. Violet seemed to realize she had gone too far, so she turned her charm back on Martin and Carol. She clung to Ethan, laughing easily, but every time she looked at me, her eyes were full of hostility. I tried to stay calm, but inside, something heavy pressed against my chest. After dinner, Ethan went to Martin's study, and Carol disappeared into the kitchen to cut fruit. Violet sidled up to me, linking her arm through mine. Her grip was painfully tight. "Amelia, don't be mad at me. I'm just blunt sometimes." She batted her lashes. "I really understand you. Truly." I tried to pull away. "Understand what?" "Your situation." Her voice lowered, tinged with false sympathy. "You see, Ethan has me now." She paused, smiling faintly. "And even though you were adopted by the Collins family, you'll never truly be one of us, will you? Things in this house are going to change eventually. You should start thinking about your future." I looked at her and smiled coolly. "Miss Parker, I don't quite understand. What future should I be planning in my own home?" Her smile faltered for a split second before she forced it back. She patted my hand like she pitied me. "I get it. You want to protect your pride. Don't worry, I'll take care of you once I'm the lady of the house." I yanked my arm free and stood. "First of all, this is my home. Second, my mother is the lady of this house. And lastly, I don't need your care." Her face darkened. "Amelia, don't push your luck. Ethan sees you as a sister, and yet you act like you're some kind of princess. You're just an adopted daughter. Don't forget your place." I know my place, I said steadily. I'm Amelia Collins, the rightful daughter of this family. But as for you, Miss Parker, this is your first visit, and you're already acting like you own the place. Tell me, where exactly do you think you fit in? You. She started, but when Ethan walked out of the study, she immediately switched her expression. Her eyes filled with tears. She rushed into his arms. Ethan. I turned away and started toward my room. Amelia, Ethan called after me, his voice strained. It's Violet's first time here. She might have been nervous and said something wrong. Don't take it to heart. I glanced back. Violet peeked out from behind him, her expression smug. My chest tightened. Ethan, I said quietly, she called me your child bride and said everyone's been talking about it. Do you really think she just misspoke? Ethan frowned. People gossip. Why take it seriously? Violet didn't mean any harm. No harm. I took a slow breath. There was nothing left to say. If he wanted to see her as innocent, then nothing I said would change his mind. Fine, I said softly, turning away. That night, I lay in bed, unable to sleep. My phone buzzed, a message from my best friend, Zoe Miller. Amelia. I heard your brother brought his girlfriend home? How is she? Pretty? Nice? I forced a smile and typed back. She's pretty. But she thinks I'm my brother's child bride. Zoe immediately called. What the hell? Is she insane? What century does she think we live in? You're your parents' darling, who does she think she is? And Ethan's not saying anything? He thinks she didn't mean it, I said quietly. Zoe exploded. Didn't mean it? That's pure malice. She's trying to put you down, making digs in front of your parents and brother, reminding you you're adopted. She's marking her territory. That woman is toxic. Her fury made me laugh weakly. Forget it. I won't see her that often anyway. Maybe they won't last. Zoe wasn't convinced. Don't let her push you around. You're Amelia Collins. I appreciated her words, but I didn't want to make things difficult for Martin and Carol. They treated me with nothing but kindness. I didn't want to cause conflict. But I underestimated Violet. She was determined to keep calling me the child bride and use it to elevate herself, the future Mrs. Collins. She began visiting more often, acting as if she already belonged. When my parents weren't home, she would cling to Ethan and make sly remarks to me. Amelia, is this dress from Carol? It's beautiful, but it's a bit mature for you. I'll take you shopping next time, something more suitable for your age. Or, Amelia, you're so smart. An Ivy League student, right? But it must be exhausting for a girl to study that hard. Anyway, you'll be fine. The Collins family will always look after you. The final straw came during a family gathering. Some relatives complimented me, saying Violet and I looked like sisters. Violet beamed, wrapping an arm around me. Yes, Amelia and I get along so well. Even though she's Ethan's adopted sister, I think of her as my own. After she graduates, we'll find her a good husband. We'll make sure she has a beautiful wedding. The room went still. The older relatives shifted uncomfortably. Adopted sister. Find her a husband. Beautiful wedding. Each phrase cut deeper than the last. I set down my fork. Carol's expression darkened. She coughed softly and looked at Ethan. Ethan? Under the table, he squeezed Violet's hand, a silent warning. But Violet kept smiling as she placed more food in my bowl. Amelia, eat more. You're still growing. Don't worry, you'll have me to look after you. I stared at her false smile, then at my plate. Violet. Martin's voice was calm but cold. He set down his glass. Amelia is our daughter. Her future is for her to decide. This is her home. Don't ever say things like that again. Violet's smile froze. Her face turned pale. I'm sorry, Martin, I didn't mean it that way. Let's eat, he said shortly, and didn't look at her again. The rest of the meal was painfully quiet. I knew Martin had stood up for me. But the more he did, the colder Violet's eyes became. And I knew this wasn't over. Gab. Martin's voice left no room for argument. Ethan looked from his furious father to me, cold, distant, and then to the girlfriend trembling in his arms. At last he clenched his jaw, took Violet by the hand, and led her out. As the door shut, the strength I'd been clinging to crumbled, and tears filled my eyes. Carol pulled me close and sighed. "Good girl, my dear daughter, I'm sorry you had to endure that." After that day, Ethan didn't come home for several days, nor did he contact me. I heard Violet had thrown tantrums, claiming I bullied her and the Collins family was biased. Apparently they argued, then made up. When Ethan finally brought her back, the atmosphere had changed. Martin and Carol were polite but distant. Violet apologized and toned herself down. She stopped openly provoking me, but the malice in her eyes only sharpened. She shifted tactics. She began inserting herself into Ethan's social circle, trying to drive a wedge between us. Most of Ethan's friends had known me since childhood. They weren't impressed by her antics. Sometimes they pulled me aside. "Amelia, your future sister-in-law is at it again. Yesterday she made a scene and insisted Ethan skip our get-together because you'd be there. She's been digging into your past." I tried to ignore it and focus on my own life. But she was relentless. One afternoon she sidled up, voice low and poisonous. "Don't get cocky, Amelia. You think the Collins family actually cares? It's all for show. What happens if I tell everyone the foster daughter has been pining after her own brother? That you refuse to move out and want to be a child bride? Do you think they'll still keep you?" I looked up sharply. She was smiling, wild, triumphant. "If I can't have it good, neither will you. Let's see how this plays out." My heart sank. She was ready to burn the house down. I had no doubt she would try something at my graduation party. Panic flared, then hardened into anger. I had tolerated her again and again. She answered with new insults. Did she really think I had no temper? That a few lies would give her free rein in the Collins family? "Violet," I said evenly, a warning, "think through the consequences." She sneered. "What can you do besides tattle?" "I don't need to tattle," I said with a small smile. "I'm stating facts. People who wrong others eventually pay the price. Think about that." I walked away. Warnings were useless now. I had to stop her from ruining the party Martin and Carol had worked so hard to plan, and from tarnishing the Collins name. I didn't go to my parents or Ethan. Instead, I sought out Martin's special assistant, Daniel Roberts, who had watched me grow up. I laid out what was happening and asked for a favor. His face darkened. "Don't worry, Amelia. I know exactly what to do." The party began. The Collins villa glowed with lights and laughter. Violet looked stunning, arm-linked with Ethan's, smiling graciously as if nothing had happened. But each time our eyes met, her gaze turned icy. Halfway through, it was time to cut the cake. The lights dimmed. Guests gathered, murmuring with delight. Just as I reached for the knife, Violet stepped forward, snatched the spare microphone and chirped, "Ladies and gentlemen, may I say a few words?" Heads turned. Ethan tried to pull her back. She slipped away. Martin and Carol frowned. Violet smiled, eyes narrowing as they swept to me. "Today is our dear Amelia's graduation party. I'm truly so happy for her." Her tone shifted. "As everyone knows, Amelia is the Collins family's foster daughter, so her status is special. For years, the Collins have treated her better than their own. Such kindness is boundless." A murmur rippled through the crowd. "But," she went on, "girls grow up and must eventually leave home. She can't stay forever and develop inappropriate thoughts, humiliating and tarnishing the family, right?" Her gaze darted between Ethan and me, heavy with insinuation. "So today I'd like to say something to Amelia." She faced me, her smile turning venomous. "Please stop clinging to your brother. Find a good man to marry. The Collins have been kind enough. It's time to know your place. Stop dreaming of being a child bride." "Violet." "Enough," Ethan snapped, face blanching. Gasps broke out. Eyes swung to me, surprised, curious, judgmental, sympathetic. Carol's hands clenched, Martin's expression went stone cold. Violet looked triumphant, as if to say, "See? I told you I'd do it." In the hush that followed, I laughed. I took the second microphone from the MC, my voice clear, touched with just enough bewilderment and hurt. Miss Parker, I'm curious. On your first visit, you called me Ethan's child bride. For months, you've hinted, overtly and subtly, that I'm an outsider who'll be married off. Many of our guests watch me grow up, they know my background. My parents died when I was young. Martin and Carol took me in and raised me as their own. I am grateful beyond words. I steadied my breath. I have always regarded Ethan as a brother. I have never harbored inappropriate thoughts. So why, Miss Parker, do you cling to this absurd story? Why slander me here, of all days? Is it because Ethan treats me well as his sister and that unsettles you? Do you think forcing me out is the only way you'll feel secure? My gaze sharpened. This is the Collins family, not a stage for your rumors. Whether I belong is not yours to decide. Silence. Then the tide turned. So that's what happened. She's unhinged, going after the beloved daughter of the house? How could she say that at a graduation party? How could the Collins consider her as a daughter-in-law? Ethan stared at me, stunned and guilty. He jerked his hand from Violet's arm as if it burned. You're lying, she shouted, panic cracking her voice. She's making it up. It was her. Enough, Martin said, voice like a blade. He stepped onto the stage and took the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for this embarrassment. His eyes cut to Violet. Miss Parker, it seems you did not heed our warning. This pond is too small for a fish like you. As for your relationship with Ethan, it ends here. Please leave. Martin, no, it's not like that. Please, let me explain. Violet lunged for Ethan's hand, he pulled away. Violet, he said, disappointment clouding his features, you've let me down. No. It's because I love you. I was afraid of losing you. It's her, Amelia, that. Mr. Collins. Daniel appeared at the back, guiding forward a timid, middle-aged woman who had once worked for our family. Violet went chalk-white at the sight of her. The woman bowed to Martin and Ethan. Sir, Mr. Collins, I'm sorry. Miss Parker paid me to spread rumors that Miss Amelia was raised to be a child bride, that she clung to her brother with bad intentions. The rumor erupted. The truth was out, Violet had fabricated the gossip and pushed it everywhere. Ethan's last trace of tenderness vanished, leaving only disgust. Get out, he said, pointing to the door. Violet crumpled, sobbing, as security escorted her away. The farce was over. I didn't remember much about how the party went after that. I only recalled guests coming up to comfort me, praising my composure and strength. Martin and Carol stayed beside me the whole time, holding my hands tightly. Ethan tried to talk to me several times, but I avoided him. It wasn't that I hadn't forgiven him, my heart was simply too heavy. I needed time to process everything. After the guests had left, Ethan caught me at my bedroom door. Amelia. His face was full of guilt and regret. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I shouldn't have doubted you, and I never should have let her bully you. I looked at the brother who had always protected me since childhood. A dull ache spread in my chest. Ethan, I said softly, I'm not angry that you were dating someone. I'm just sad. Why did it have to be someone like her? Why did you believe everything she said, but whenever I spoke, you thought I was overreacting? Ethan ran a hand through his hair, his voice cracking with frustration. I was blind. I only saw how fragile she looked and never realized how manipulative she really was. Amelia, please give me another chance. I'll never doubt you again. I'll protect you and never let anyone hurt you. I sighed at his sincerity. Ethan, I just want you to be happy. But next time you fall in love, please open your eyes first. I hesitated, then added, and I really do think of you as my real brother. He nodded earnestly. I know. I've always known. I was the foolish one. After that night, Ethan was quiet for a while, but soon threw himself into work. Peace gradually returned to our home, warmer and calmer than before. Martin and Carol, perhaps out of guilt, treated me even more lovingly. I heard that Violet had tried to reach out to Ethan again, even threatening to take her own life, but he never responded. The rumors about me being a child bride vanished quickly after her disgrace. Whenever someone brought it up, it only served as a reminder of Violet's malice and downfall. A week later, Sunlight streamed through the windows as I curled up on the living room sofa with a book. Ethan sat beside me, insisting on peeling fruit for me. "Hey, I can do it myself," I protested. "Nope," he said stubbornly. "I still have to make up for all my mistakes." Carol appeared with coffee in hand, smiling as she watched us bicker. "You're both grown adults, yet you still act like children." Ethan and I exchanged a look and laughed. The golden afternoon light filled the room, soft and warm. So much for the child bride rumors. It had all been a ridiculous farce created by someone's jealousy. Now the farce was over. My home was still my home. I was Amelia Collins, the rightful daughter of the Collins family, loved and cherished. And that was enough.